YouTube, they can also join. I will share the link in the group.
Yasir Khan, walaikum assalam.
Walaikum salam. Marhaba.
Well, I think people can introduce themselves in the chat area and we can reply you.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, we cannot extend the time of the broadcast because then it's going to be sahur time in Pakistan. So we are kind of pressed for time. But next time we can pick a time where we won't have this.
Yeah, and I guess next time it will be like normal time without Ramadan, so maybe it's easier to do it in a day.
So Muaz has a question, Walaikum Assalam Muaz, and he wants to know if someone can relate emotional intelligence with neuro-linguistic programming, NLP.
I think Jessi is gonna talk about it, if I am not wrong.
Awesome. So then we can leave it for now because Jessi is gonna cover it. Nadia, hello, welcome.
Or we can arrange it in the next time.
Yeah, we need to see like in daytime if we can make it happen, because this time actually Morocco was leading. So after Ramadan, I think we can make timing different, so which can suit to more people. Okay, I think let's start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Sallallahu ala habibihi sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wasallam. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdinas siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. Sallallahu ala habibi sayyidina wa maulana Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wasallam. I welcome you all in our today's forum of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a highly important topic and highly interesting topic as well. It has link with our personal life, of corporate life, and the people who are emotionally intelligent. It has proved through different researches that they are 50% more productive, they are 60% more happy in their personal life, and they are 70% more good in public communication. So considering all these facts, HL Legends Forum realized the importance, and then we arranged this amazing forum with highly amazing guest speakers from different parts of the world for all the attendees. So I will begin our today's forum with the entire introduction of all the panel members which are here. So first of all, I request Eram to introduce yourself, and then we will move to Ikhlass. And after introduction, we will start our today's forum agenda. So Eram, if you can briefly introduce yourself so everybody can know about you.
Sure. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And I am so grateful to be here. Thank you, Mustafa, and wonderful to be in the company of these amazing speakers. My name is Eram Saeed, and I have been in the field of spirituality and self-development for almost 12 years now. I run an online publishing platform, also known as the Terra Summit, since 2012. And it basically is about self-development and spirituality. And I've had the opportunity to interview some of the world's leading teachers and luminaries from around the world, New York Times bestselling authors. And like I said, I'm just so grateful to be in the company of these amazing teachers today, and really look forward to connecting with the amazing audience that you have.
Thank you very much, Iram, for introduction, and we are very glad and very happy to have you on board. And now I request our next honorable guest speaker, Ikhlass Ferrane, to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Mustafa, for this great initiative. Thank you all members of this panel. I'm really glad to be with you. Thank you, spectator, that you are here with us. Thank you for your interest. So I am working as an executive trainer. I'm also behavior EQ and WFMOT analyst. I'm public speaker, and I work on developing soft skills. I work on change management and crisis management with the public administrations. And I work also on developing and building and enhancing performance and motivation for professionals.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your introduction. Now I request Jessi the Terra to introduce herself, please.
Thank you very much, Mustafa, first of all, for having me on this platform. I am an empowerment and EQ coach, but it just happened to me, you could say, through self-discovery. I worked originally in the corporate marketing side for 10 years, created a zero-member network into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Before my passion drove me into becoming actually an EQ coach, because I experienced this through self-healing and self-discovery through a set of a lot of personal experiences, starting from various aspects of life, losses and failures. And I can very well relate to that experience that clients kind of go through. And currently I'm also pursuing a state license. I'm basically from Germany, so I'm pursuing a state license here in psychotherapy, which will definitely help me to enable to get more deeper into the scientific backed processes of emotional intelligence. And that's what I do.
Excellent. We are very glad to have you on board, and thank you very much for joining us today. So our next forum member is Shaima. If you can introduce yourself to all the attendees.
Hello everyone. It's being with you tonight. So my name is Shaima. I'm from Morocco. I'm a public speaker and a personal life performance. In the same time, working in hospitality, and the admin of the group Facebook Women is Empowerment. The goal of this group is to help people grow in my career. It's a group where I share a lot of things like job offers and general culture, etc. I'm very active Instagram and under the name of Shaima Isul, and I help a lot of people to grow and have self-confidence. So that's it, and it's a pleasure being with you tonight.
Thank you very much. You have a wonderful profile, and now we have a very respectable and very senior person with us, Mr. Rida Hassani. I request him to please introduce himself, and while other people are speaking, I request the other panel members to mute their mics, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mustafa. I will speak in French. My English is not very well. Alors, merci beaucoup, Monsieur Mustafa Ghulam. Merci beaucoup, Ikhlass Ferrane, pour cette initiative. Je suis Redam Hasni, je suis professeur de psychologie à l'Université internationale de Casablanca. Je suis psychologue clinicien et psychothérapeute installé en cabinet depuis 2010. J'ai occupé aussi le poste de responsable de recrutement et de formation dans une multinationale d'industrie pharmaceutique. Je suis acteur de la société civile et je suis chroniqueur dans différents médias, notamment à Atlantique Radio, où je décode des sujets liés à la santé, à l'éducation et à la politique sociale. Ravi d'être parmi vous. Merci.
It's a pleasure having you with us, Mr. Reda.
Thank you.
Merci, Mr. Rida. Was Shurafalai Forum. This is all my French. So my first question goes to Eram Saeed, our honorable guest speaker today. And for that, I also share my screen with you as well, because I have to share her presentation. So everybody can see the screen. You can share in the chat area if you can see my screen. All the respectable attendees, kindly share in the chat area if you can see the screen.
Yes, I can see it.
I'm also trying to engage the attendees as well, if they can see the screen. Okay, good. Excellent. So Eram, over to you. So Eram is going to introduce all of you about what is emotional intelligence and how emotional intelligence is connected with our heart, mind, soul, and everything. So over to you, Eram, actually.
Thank you, Mustafa. And I will have to ask you to kindly remind me when my time is up, because I will lose track of time. As Mustafa knows quite well, I love to talk and it's hard for me to stop talking. And I never prepare for any talks. Upon his insistence, I gave him this one screen. But as you will see, I'm going to refer to it only for a couple of seconds and then I'm going to move on. The reason being, I like to formulate my talk according to what the energy of the group is. And there were some really good questions in the chat earlier, and I'd like to address a couple of them because you guys are here to learn actual tools on how to manage your emotions. And I think that is what we want to do. We want to give you something that you can take away from this. And that's what the rest of our honorable speakers are going to do as well. So as I said earlier in my introduction, I have devoted my life to self-development, self-realization. And you would think that it goes hand in hand with emotional intelligence, but unfortunately it does not. And I'll get to it in a minute, why not? So what exactly is emotional intelligence? If you look it up on Google or anywhere, in very briefly, what it means is that it's the ability to be self-aware about your own emotions so that you can manage them. And then also through your own self-awareness, having the discernment to be able to see that and become aware of emotions in other people. And then through that knowledge, be able to influence their behavior, not control their behavior, because controlling is not a sign of emotional intelligence, but influencing someone is. So it goes to say that really the most important skill that you can learn in life, whether it is for your personal life or your professional life, is truly how to become emotionally intelligent. So I want to begin by saying that one of the, if you want to learn emotional intelligence, honestly, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Muslim, but just a student of human behavior, a keen student of human behavior. If you want to see an embodiment of emotional intelligence, please pick up a book and read about Prophet Muhammad and his life. You will see a complete balance and a beautiful example of emotional intelligence. So as you can see on this screen, you have the intrapersonal and the interpersonal. And you can see very briefly why I wanted to show you this was that everything is connected. Everything is connected. And it starts with self-awareness. And you can take this screen away now, Mustafa, because our respected panelists are actually going to cover this in detail. I just want to talk about self-awareness. The interesting thing is that we come into this world, in this body, and as we become adults, we spend most of our time disconnected from our body. You know, we talk about emotions, we talk about the importance of emotions, but we really don't know, we don't have the skills to actually feel or even understand our own emotions. Why is that? Well, if you go back to when we were all children, we start out with, you know, we're just feeling everything. We're just walking, talking, emotional beings. And then we begin to learn that there is something called the brain, which teaches us that this experience is bad, so stay away from it. This experience is good, I want more of that. So we are taught through our adults, our elders, our teachers, our culture, we are taught to value what the brain is giving us as feedback much more than what the heart was giving us. Now, in truth, the brain is basically, it's a fantastic, fascinating, amazing organ, but it really works similar to like a computer. So it's gonna go to your past experiences And it's going to take from that and it's going to compute and project based on those past experience. It's going to make projections to what you might expect. And I'll just give a quick example right now. Somebody had mentioned the COVID-19, Saeed Mahrouki, great question. In this pandemic situation, where everything has become so unpredictable, the mind is going crazy because it does not have a reference point anymore. And when it doesn't have that, it naturally creates fear, like, oh my God, we're going to die, or something really bad is going to happen, because the mind is saying, I cannot project, therefore I cannot protect. I need to be able to control in order to protect. And that is all an illusion. So what we have, how the mind operates, is really, it creates this personality. So this Eram, the way I define myself, okay, I'm a woman, I am, certain age, and I have 2 children, I live in Pakistan, yada, yada, yada. All of these define, if somebody asks me who is Eram, I will use those to define who I am. The truth of the matter is, none of that is who I am. These are just stories, right? They can change at any time. But we become very, very attached to the stories that we have, so much so that they become part of our identity. All right. And when we identify with what has happened in our past, and we become kind of like a victim, that we were a victim of abuse, we were a victim of certain circumstance, then that is who we become. So when in your current life, when a similar circumstance takes place, so this person, I could be having a conversation with Mustafa. Now, as you can see, he has a beard. Now, in the past, I might have had an experience that was very negative with someone who had a beard, right? And I might see that, okay, his tone is hostile. He's just not being nice to me. He doesn't think that I'm an intelligent woman, whatever. All of those things would be going on in my head. Not that, Mustafa, you're like that, you're wonderful, as you know. But based on my past experience, I'm going to label him in a certain way. And that story is going to continue. And I'm going to be coming from this place of reaction, which actually one of our speakers is going to talk about. Jessi's going to talk about more, I believe. But what I wanted you guys to pay attention to was that based on these past stories, we immediately, in a nanosecond, our brain creates a reaction. Based on that, we have an emotion that just pops out, and it's out of control. So many of you have asked me this question in the past: how do we learn to control our emotions? The answer is you don't. Emotions cannot be controlled. Control is not the right word. Emotions can be managed. Now, how can we manage emotions? The most important thing is that you need to first understand that the brain doesn't really have much to do with emotions. The actual emotion balancing and emotion managing and emotion feeling organ in the body is heart. And somehow, because of modern science, we really have kind of glorified the brain, but left the heart out into the wilderness, because people that follow their heart are somehow not supposed to be very wise, or they don't make the right decisions. Whereas the heart intelligence is far more superior and accurate than the brain intelligence. Now, if you just follow the heart, then yes, you can get into trouble. The trick is in being able to create a connection between the mind and the heart, but it needs to be in the moment when you're getting triggered. Somebody said something to you, you got triggered. Now emotions are coming up. If you are able to create a heart and brain coherence in the moment, you will have discernment, and you will then be able to manage your emotion very, very well. Also, when you have heart-brain coherence as a practice, so you don't just use it in the moment of confrontation with someone, but you use it as a practice, then all that heavy load, those pent-up emotions we have, by the way, we have several locked up emotions in our body. It's locked up in cellular memory, it's locked up in organs, it's there. This is scientifically proven. So those are the ones that get triggered in a nanosecond. When you practice heart-brain coherence, you are able to release all those extra emotions in a privacy and safety of your own space. And that is what I had requested, Mustafa, if I can lead you guys through a very small, short, easy practice of what I practice. And it's a great, great process to train your heart and mind to come into coherence. There are many benefits, scientific benefits that you can research on. If you go to, after this discussion, if you want to go to Heart Math Institute, if you just Google Heart Math Institute, they have devoted decades of their lives in doing research on heart-brain coherence, and you can find all kinds of information on it. I've interviewed them on my show. They're amazing people. Research has shown that when your heart and brain are in coherence, your body goes into this very beautiful state called the homeostasis. It also releases the kind of hormones that are good for you, that are not the fight and flight hormones that make us, get triggered and we make decisions that we don't necessarily appreciate afterwards, or we say things that we regret saying. So it releases serotonin and it releases oxytocin. Ladies, oxytocin is wonderful for us. That is what is the best drug for anti-aging, anti-stress, and it's wonderful for our heart. It's wonderful for everybody's heart. And this is stuff we can do by ourselves. It's a very easy process. So if you want to join me, I promise you I'll just take 3 more minutes. And then let me know how you feel afterwards. So we begin by, yes, thank you. Thank you, Mustafa. So we begin by simply just coming into our body. Majority of the time we spend during the day is in our head, right? We're thinking, we're doing, we got to go do this. We're thinking about what someone said to us. We're just constantly in our heads and we are not in our body. The most important source of information about your own self is in your body. So I know some of these terms may sound totally alien to you, and that's okay. But learning to drop your attention inside your body is one of the most important skills that you can learn. So what we do is we just take a few centering breaths, just calm, centering breaths, okay? And then what we want to do is take either of your hands or take both hands and just kind of place it where your heart would be. And then just take a breath. Take another deep breath. Just by placing your hand on your heart begins to release oxytocin, and you can probably feel just a calming wave coming over you, which is going to start releasing those beneficial hormones. So as we keep breathing, we visualize our heart. And instead of, even though we will be breathing through our mouth or nose, we are going to visualize as if it is our heart that is breathing, that the breath is entering through the heart. So keep breathing. Just calm, centering, easy breaths. So as you keep breathing through your heart, now you will visualize calm, peace, joy. That's the energy you are breathing in. Just let the heart keep breathing and just breathe in joy, breathe in calm, breathe in peace. Keep your focus on your heart. One of the things I like to do at this point is think about something that makes you very grateful, a vision, a memory. I always like to think about when my daughters were born and I was holding them as a baby. That always takes me in a very beautiful place and my heart fills with gratitude. So just feel your heart open up as you visualize that memory, still breathing in peace, joy, and calm. Now, for those of you that would like, I like to, because I'm a Sufi, I practice dhikr. I like to breathe in the name of Allah. So you could breathe in whatever you want, as long as it's peace, calm, and joy. And you can open your eyes whenever you feel comfortable. And I invite you to just check in. I see a big smile on Chaima's face. Just check in with your body and see how you feel now compared to when we first started breathing. This is called heart-brain coherence. HeartMath people have actually done several experiments to see that within really 5 short minutes, there are immense benefits to the body. When you are in this state of homeostasis, by the way, this can help your immune system. It can boost up your immune system by up to 6 hours. So just this 5-minute exercise boosted your immune system for up to 5-6 hours. Imagine if you can do it several times during the day. That is your best defense against coronavirus right now. So thank you, Mustafa, for allowing me the time. I hope this was helpful.
Thank you, Eram. It was excellent, and we really learned many new things. Also, the practice how to control your heart and the mind and heart coherence. This is something really amazing and very helpful. So, anybody, if you have any question, Eram is here. You can write your question in chat area, and Eram is watching your questions. She's reading your questions in chat area, and she will reply you.
Thank you, Nabila. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And so now let's move to our next guest speaker of today. She is from Morocco, Ikhlass Ferrane, my very good friend and my teacher, my coach, my mentor. Ikhlass, over to you. She will also, she is going to talk about how to develop emotional intelligence. I mean, is it a God-gifted thing, or is it something which we can develop? Or if we can develop, then how we can develop it? So over to you, Ikhlass.
She's muted.
Your mic is mute.
Le micro,
yes.
Madame Ikhlass.
I have unmuted.
Okay.
Yes, she's.
Thank you, Mustafa, for considering me your mentor. I'm glad for that, and seriously, I was really very honored when first you wrote to me, and I'm still very honored and glad that we can collaborate that way. And I hope that will be continuing all the time. So thank you, Mustafa.
Inshallah.
The question is, inshallah, baby. The question was if emotional intelligence is something that we have from God or something we can develop. Well, I want to say that it's half given from God and half developed. Why? Because let's see kids, how do they act? How do they react to each other? They can feel anger, they will shout, but then they will find a solution. They can feel sadness, they will cry, but then they will find solution. They can fight, but then they will find solution. They can be joyful and happy, and then they can share that with their friends and with their family. They can have fear, and they will try to find a solution or try to be protected by their parents or their family. So kids are like developing emotional intelligence from God. They didn't learn this as a skill, and I'm sad that in the school and in our family, we don't learn how to manage emotions. We don't learn what are emotions and what are the needs behind. So if we want to be like kids, managing is another story. But a kid know when he is afraid, why he is afraid, because he need to feel secure. Well, what I felt with a lot of clients, that they have fear, but they are not aware of the fear, of the source of the fear. They're just afraid of the future, afraid of what's going to happen, afraid of other persons, afraid because there is an exam, afraid because there is evaluation in their company. So if we want to develop emotional intelligence, first step is self-awareness. I guess that before developing or trying to give some tips to participants about how to develop emotional intelligence, we need to tell them what are the components. The components of emotional intelligence are like 5. The first one is like the corner one and the corner step of the emotional intelligence, which is self-awareness. Self-awareness is the way I am aware of myself, the way I am aware of what I can feel as emotions, the way I am aware of what I have as skills, what I have as weaknesses, what I can face as opportunities or challenges. So if I develop emotional intelligence, I need to develop this first component, which is self-awareness. The second component is self-regulation. So self-regulation is about how do I manage, as Eram said, how do I manage my emotions? The third step, or the third component, is social awareness, or what we call empathy, is the ability that a person has to feel and understand and accept others' emotions. The fourth one is social skills. So how do I treat my relationships to them, and how can I influence them? How can I be like leader? How can I motivate others? And the last one is about motivation. Why am I doing this or this? The reasons why I am acting, the reasons why I am having this relationship, the reason why I'm going to work in the morning, the reason why I am stuck to, or I am trying to make something happen, the reason, or like it's like the objective I have in this life. Okay. So first, let's develop emotional or pencil, because I, and so make like
I think Ikhlas has disconnected. She's maybe Ikhlas, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I was telling, like, at the end of your day, make a list of what you have felt as emotions. I make it like a mattress. What do I feel? Why did I feel that? What was my reaction? And what was the reaction of others? Okay. So each day, at the end of the day, what were your emotions? What were your beliefs behind? Because each emotion is like stimulated by a belief. And the first step is, what was my reaction? Because when I emotion I from having like fear emotion, stress emotion, anger emotion, or something else. So each emotion has an impact on my behavior and others' behaviors. If I want to make myself self-aware, I need to know what were my emotions, my reactions, how do others accept them or didn't accept them, and what are the beliefs behind. Second step is like making a stressor or a pressure list. It's like making a list of your stressor, of the things or the factors that make you feel stressed and that make you feel like under pressure, and express that to others. Self-awareness or emotional intelligence is not about to be developed by yourself. You need others because others are like mirror for you. Okay, so development self-awareness, it's how what was the belief behind, what was the reaction and behaviors, mine and others. Second thing is make a list of my the factors that make me feel anger or that make me stress, and tell them to others, share that with others. Third step is like analyze yourself. I'm used to work with some clients on personal SWOT, personal strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I really don't like this name, so I changed it to SOC, strength, opportunities, and challenges. Why did I change weaknesses and threats? Because weaknesses and threats are like, for me, are like negative words. And for me, if I want to develop skills, I need to focus on what is positive. So replacing weaknesses and threats by challenges. Challenges are maybe internal ones, something I need to go on myself, like something I feel like that I need to develop, or external challenges, which is external to me that I need to face. Okay, so this is how to develop self-awareness. Second thing is to develop self-regulation. So how can I, or how can I do self-regulation? First, to be aware of what I feel. I need to be aware of the needs behind it. I need to be aware of the beliefs behind, because we have emotion because of beliefs, as Eram said. It's because of our own experience that we'll have an emotion toward Mustafa, toward other people. So the first thing is to make a freedom list. A freedom list is a list that make you of situations or factors or people or feeling that makes you feel good, that makes you feel having a good and positive emotion, and focus on it. Okay, because last time we had like a question, how could I manage my anger? Managing your anger is focusing on the good thoughts. It's not focusing on bad beliefs and bad thoughts. Then you may make an anger list, a list of things that make you feel angry, and share that with people around. Make them feel that you are someone who is aware of what he believes, of what he is, and that you need maybe their help to be good with them and to have like good relationships. Okay. before other physical activity, because you need to have like a break time with breathing before acting. Second tip, eating too much sugar is not good for emotional intelligence. Eating too much salt is not good for emotional eating. So this one is to heal yourself from your past. Because past is something that has you like stronger. Why? Because you are more assertive, because you know what you want, because you know what you need, and this is maybe time to express that. The third component of emotional intelligence is social awareness or empathy. So social awareness or empathy is is about to know or to accept or to be like a mirror for others. It's about listening. You don't need to show that you understand them. You just need to be there for them. And how to develop self or social awareness is by developing curiosity about strangers, about who they are, and never be the person that shows that I know what you feel. I will act this way, you know, if I was in your place. No, you are not in their place. You cannot really understand profoundly, and you cannot feel the same way they feel. They have their own feelings, so what they need maybe is just you to listen. And empathy is that: listen to other and accept and be like the container for their emotions. The fourth component of emotional intelligence is social skills. So how could I develop social skills? If I was someone who is self-aware, who can manage his emotions, who have like developed empathy and social skills, I will be someone who train myself to be with others. Because social skills is about being with others, is about interacting with others, it's about communicating with others, it's about enhancing and developing confidence and trust between me and others. So if I want to develop my social skills, I will learn to communicate by non-violent communication, or I will learn to work with therapeutic tools. What is non-violent communication? It's about observing what's happening, expressing what I feel without judging, because this is something we do all the time, judging others. And empathy is not about judgment. Empathy is about just being the container of mutual interest between you and I. And the last one, which is motivation. Well, motivation, I have something for you. Maybe I want to share it with you. Mustafa, can I share my my
Yes, you can share your screen. Yes, you can share your screen, but your internet bandwidth is not good. So it's distorting. Ikhlass, can you hear us?
Okay.
So maybe we have to stop over here because it's continuously affecting and disconnecting.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is the last thing I wanted to share. It's about motivation. So
Okay.
if I want to develop motivation, I need to make a list of positive things and goals I already achieved and be thankful for that and celebrate that. If I want to
Excellent.
be like motivated for life, I need to fix small and measurable objectives. Fixing small and measurable objective will help me achieve them and like enhance motivation more and more. Surround myself with positive people. A lot of time I have some clients like complaining about their family or complaining about some friends and tell them they are always negative. I tell them, please choose the people you want to be with. If you need to achieve your goals, you need to surround yourself with positive energy, and positive energy will come from yourself and from your context, your environment. And your environment for sure is composed with people. So please choose people who will enhance is like
Hello, class. Are you there?
did you
Yes.
yeah I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So thank you very much. I think your presentation is over now. I think Ikhlas has some internet problems. So as soon as she is able to hear us, we can say her thanks for her wonderful presentation and sharing wonderful ideas about how to develop this amazing skill of emotional intelligence. So I request my next guest speaker, Miss Jessi, the Terra. She's from Germany, to join us and share her presentation with us. She's going to talk about mostly on emotional quotient and how is linked with our life. And I welcome Miss Jessi to please take over the charge of mic. Welcome, Jessi. Please, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mustafa, and hello, everyone. I have just closed down my camera so you all can focus on the presentation. I would like to congratulate my earlier panel speakers as well on delivering such great insight, especially Eram. You did a fantastic job in delivering the coherence, which is very important when we talk about the emotional quotient. My presentation, I hope you can hear me. Please just type a quick yes or just nod with your heads. Is it perfect? You can hear me flawless, yeah? Perfect. So my presentation is going to take a bit of a holistic approach to what my fellow panelists have discussed. I am a certified EQ practitioner and empowerment coach, and I've been like this now for over a year. But my journey has started like 10 years back on that. Currently, I'm pursuing my state license in psychotherapy here in Germany. And I do write by passion. I speak by passion. I speak by wearing my heart on the sleeve. And that has something to do with my personal story, because I am driven by the passion to inspire people to unleash their inner power, to tap within that inner power and dream big. That's the purpose of my life, because Pablo Picasso once said that your life is about finding your purpose and finding your gift, sorry. And your purpose is to share that gift with everyone else. And I live by that statement. Now, today I'm going to focus on unlocking your power to a stable and fulfilled life, because that's what we all want, right? Through enhancing our emotional intelligence. So I'm just going to give a few pointers so that you're all with me on the same page on what is it that I'm going to cover. We're going to talk about what humans really want in life based on my research and that of my other fellow researchers. It's the EQ circulatory system. All right. We're going to talk about how do we really lead a fulfilled life? So what do we understand by success? And how does EQ help you personally, professionally? So I'm not just going to touch on the benefits of EQ, which my panelists have already, my fellow panelists have already beautifully stated, but I'm just going to go a bit in a deeper approach to scientific backings and observation. And how is actually EQ developed in totality? So we talk about different components and we talk about EQ so much, but how does it really, the question is for ordinary people who are like not practicing EQ or who are not practitioners themselves, where do I start with enhancing my EQ, right? So, I mean, there are tons and tons of information available on the internet, but what are scientifically proven methods? So let's take a look. And but before I dwell into what do we really want, I just want to, again, re-emphasize on the definition that my fellow panelists have given on emotional intelligence, which is definitely the ability to understand, to use and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, overcome challenges, and diffuse conflict. Now, emotional intelligence helps you build stronger relationships, succeed at school or at work, wherever you are, and achieve your career and personal goals as well. It can help you to connect with your feelings, turn intention into action, and make informed decisions about what matters most to you. Now, there was a question in the audience about whether emotional intelligence is created in the right or left side of the brain. And I'm going to shortly come to that. But before I get there, the real question is, what are we really wired to? And according to Professor Britt Andreato, she's one of the leading psychologists in emotional intelligence, and I attended one of her courses recently as well. We human beings are wired for three basic needs to become our best self. So we talk about the journey of success to tapping into our inner power to become our best self. We also read that probably all those who work in the corporate sector, you've probably heard about the Maslow's hierarchy, right? Of self-actualization, that theory. But in essence, it's three things. It's the surviving. We're wired to survive, which involves our basic needs, including food, the physiological need, water, warmth, shelter, and safety, the sense of security, right? This is all processed in our reptilian brain. So I know that there are a few technical words I'm going to use, and but just have them in your mind, because I'm going to come to that in my next slide. When we are met with our first instinct of survival, we automatically long for belonging, right? So belonging is not just your intimate relationships, your friends, your family, but it's also a sense of achievement and acknowledgement within a wider outward community, being part of a social community, right? And once these two needs are met, that's when our superior outer neocortex brain, that is like your thinking brain, your intelligent brain, starts acting to thinking on what next. How do you become your best self? How do you tap into your inner potential? How do you become aware of that? And how do you transcend to serving your purpose, right? The big question of our life. Now, I'm just going to show you exactly what my research data has pulled up, right? And the question is, what do we really want? What is it that we humans really want in life? And my research data has shown that people need two things. Number one, it's balance in life, which comes through happiness. You call it happiness, you want to call it any name, but it's balance, right? And number two is stability in life, which we know commonly as, a fulfilled life. Both factors are driven respectively by passion, joy, and peace. So these are the attributes of happiness. While fulfillment is driven by money, personal freedom, and confidence. This all is underpinned at the very core of seeking out love and attention. It's a very basic primary human need, which enables us to focus on our primal need of survival and to make sure we become our best selves. So remember what I just told you about, right? But to attain either of these stages, we are wired to belong in order to become. So the emotional needs for survival are qualitatively raised if you're given a higher sense of emotional intelligence. That comes through self-awareness, that comes through empathy, authenticity, social awareness. When we have that truly managed, I wouldn't say in control because you cannot control, but you can manage, we automatically tend to unlock the potential to make people like of us, right? So that's the sense of belonging. That's where we get our belonging from. By reflecting a higher sense of courage, energy, the ability to love, passion, humor, creativity, positivity, your outward appearance, as well as the, when we talk about interpersonal skills, it's the ability to listen, right? So where there is like, there is intrapersonal EQ and interpersonal EQ. And in order to belong out there, you need to belong in here. You need to own yourself, which is very important. Now, what happens usually is when we lack emotional intelligence, and we all have experienced that in certain phases of our life, we get emotionally hijacked, right? And this term is often scientifically called as the amygdala hijacking, which is a term coined by famous emotional intelligence pioneer David Goleman in his book, Why EQ Matters More Than IQ. So the amygdala is basically the emotional part of the brain. It's the reptilian brain. It's the lower, there are three layers of brain: the reptilian brain, the limbic brain, and the neocortex. So the reptilian brain is where your flight and fight mode are activated, right? To situations that pose as imminent dangers. And they kind of spur adrenaline into your bodies to cope with the perceived danger at hand, right? And what happens during emotional hijack is that the stresses that we react to, or the situations, whatever trigger there is that we react to, it actually disables the higher cortex of the brain. So the higher cortex of the brain is our thinking brain, the intelligence brain, where we make decisions, where we reflect, right? And your limbic brain is where your emotions are stored. Now, what happens is that it is blocked when our amygdala is hijacked, when we are reacting to situations, when we are reacting to those stressors. And if that stressor is another person, you can very well imagine that this makes the whole situation just much more worse. Now, emotional intelligence enhancement actually hinders that amygdala hijacking, and it is a beautiful bridge between your limbic system, your emotional, where your emotions are stored, to communicate and collaborate with your thinking brain, with your intelligent brain, where your decisions are made. So it's neither in your right side of the brain or the left side, because your left side is all about logics, your right side is all about creativity, but it's more like the limbic state, which is storing your emotions to connect with your higher brain, with your intelligent brain, to collaborate, to communicate with it. And that is the emotionally intelligent brain. Now, higher EQ is also scientifically proven to have 54% more success. Now, this is a data that is done country-wise. This is mostly done in USA. So you can see that there is a country-wise distribution as well. You can search it up in Google, that USA ranks amongst the top 15 countries where people are emotionally aware of themselves. They have higher sense of self-awareness. In fact, Philippines is one of the most rated countries, with 60% standing on top of high EQ people. Now, it also has a direct impact of on productivity, communication, and collaboration, as I said earlier. And my colleagues have already discussed that there are two types of EQs, which is your inner EQ, which is all about how do you manage your emotions internally that arise from within, and your interpersonal EQ, which is all about how do you how does your emotional state affect people around you? So how do you manage other emotion, right? Now, I want to get a bit on the detail of how do you kind of recognize people with higher self-awareness or self-regulations, because these things that you're seeing are all the 5 components by Daniel Goleman. And now, many of us could be probably great in 3 of these areas. Somebody could have a great sense of self-awareness, a great sense of empathy, but might lack social skills. So to reach a totality in EQ, it requires the integration and the seamlessness of all the 5 components to work together, right? But let me just give you a bit of example so you can kind of relate to it. Because self-awareness, in short, is the ability to recognize and understand your own emotion, right? Your mood, and what drives your mood, what triggers it, like why do you feel angry? What situation causes it? Is there a pattern to it? And understanding and observing what effect does that emotion have on others. Normally, you'll see that people with higher sense of self-awareness are more self-confident, right? They are more realistic. They continuously evaluate themselves, and they have a seemingly well sense of a self-deprecating humor. So they're kind of really well equipped in that. Self-regulation is the ability to control and redirect disruptive impulses and mood. So it's not just to manage your emotions. When we say manage your emotions, basically it's just a thin line between reaction and responding to your emotions. So now you know that a situation has triggered rage in you. You're angry about a certain thing. Now, what you do when you become angry is exactly what we call as regulation. How do you respond to that? Are you going to burst out on someone? Are you going to let that influence your own behavior towards someone or to your other people around you? So, or you decide to just take a break, to pause, to think, to get away from the situation. So how do you manage? How do you respond to your emotions? That's self-regulation. And people with high sense of self-regulation are generally trustworthy. They display high trustworthiness, integrity, and they're very comfortable with facing ambiguous situations and are more open to change. They are adaptable, right? When we talk motivation, it's just your passion to work, but not just for money or for status. It's also about your energy and persistence in pursuing your own goals. And you'll see people reflecting high sense of motivation. If you are achievement driven, if you think that you're really ambitious, you're optimistic despite of facing failure, and you have a high sense of organizational commitment, right, towards your goal or towards your company you're working for, you can say that that component is really, really great on you. You don't need to probably work on that, but you might work on something else. Now, empathy, this is my favorite, and this is so misunderstood. Now, scientifically, empathy is the ability to understand the emotional profile of others, right? It's the skill in treating people according to their emotional reaction. But I would just like to add one thing on that. There is a golden rule that people perceive. We've been taught that in school: do unto others as you would do unto yourself, right? But this is not empathy. This is definitely not empathy. It's the platinum rule. The platinum rule says that do unto others as they would want to have it done unto them. It is walking in their shoes without judgment. if they're in a certain situations, seeing the situation from their perspective and understanding their behavior in that situation, rather than coming in opinionated as to what needs to be done, the coulds and the shoulds and the woulds, right? This is not having empathy. And a lot of people do misunderstand that. There is a very thin line. So it's the platinum rule of empathy. And finally, of course, social skills, as my fellow panelists had discussed it previously as well. It's the proficiency in managing, it's relationship building. It's relationship building and management. And additionally, the ability to find common ground and build rapport, right? And you'll see that people with high sense of social skills are effective in leading change. They are very persuasive, right? They have high convincing powers, and they're experts in building and leading teams, right? They're the people makers. They're team builders, right? So you can understand that it does not mean that you lack EQ. You already have some component of it which is strongly nourished, but certain other components need to be nurtured more upon. Yeah, so we've been talking so much about EQ. Let's talk about success, right? How do you attain success? And we talk about fulfilled life, and we talk about EQ accomplishing that, right? But what is it, right? Because when you teach yourself emotional intelligence, you basically teach yourself how to recognize your feelings, understand where they come from, and learn how to deal with those emotions. You reach that perfect state of equilibrium in teaching the most essential skill set for success. But success is a relative term, right? What is success to you might not be success to me. In simple terms, it is whatever your goal is or purpose is in life. It just means the attainment of that goal. And today you could be successful in reaching a goal, and tomorrow it could be something else. So it's really relative. And in modern day, we often associate it with the attainment of fame, wealth, and social status. In principle, we achieve those things by utilizing our potential to translate that goal. And how does that potential come in? Your main map to success is your own vision to life, how you visualize success, on what you want to really achieve and what you want to become. Your vision or your visualization of success is a formation of a mental image that is perceived as real. So if I'm asking you today, like, what is it that you want to do? Where do you see yourself highest in your life? Like, I have a goal. I want to probably one day get onto the TEDx stage, right? Or I want to be coming onto the Oprah Winfrey show. No, not that it's my goal, but I'm just giving you an example. You know what I actually do? I visualize it. I sit by myself and actually visualize and look into the mirror and just pretend that I'm there already. Because you need to visualize your future success in your present. It's about having that vision perceived as real. It's just a technique. Right? It helps to reflect better on yourself in terms of the where, the what, the how, and the when, and whatever you want to achieve, that very thing or goal in your life. Now, I just want to draw your attention on very quickly. I don't want to get too much into detail of that. There are 3 driving forces in the EQ map, and this is done by Jessi system, which provide kind of EQ measurement tools. But I found that really relevant because I was researching on that matter of fact, like how do you measure success, right? And emotional intelligence in business is vital. So we're talking about professional success here. So success in business. And research has shown that EQ is built on the capacity of an organization to attract and to retain talent and keep their workforce engaged and producing. Now, creating initiative for innovation and creativity and earning client and employee loyalty builds character and keeps a company squarely focused on growth and future. Now, higher EQ under pressure also has it that you gain an enhanced capacity to manage your emotional stamina, the mental agility and ability to regulate energy and attention even under pressure. And as beautifully as Tony Robbins says that Focus is where the energy flows, right? So you need to manage that energy. And building trust is the foundation of all relationships. When we say to connect, right? So it's all about relationship building. It's all about how do we manage relations around us. So the capacity to say what you mean and mean what you say creates credibility. That strengthens the bond of good business. Because through higher EQ, through higher emotional intelligence, and through higher emotional quotient, basically you channel your power to establish and expand trust with others and allow the creative discord that results in sound and effective solutions. And finally, that results in creating an awesome spectacle future for your company, right? Or for wherever you're working in. It means that your ability is now being able to be measured. You think beyond the conventional. You think about serving others in your life with truly amazing, incredible results. Because this circle capitalizes on your unique potential, your core talents and strengths, and your ability to recognize and help activate that unique potential of others, right? And that's when you truly become successful in business professionally. But, you know, how do we really develop EQ? Okay. Managing stress is just the first step to building emotional intelligence. We all encounter stress, now especially so relevant given the phase that we're in COVID-19. The science of attachment indicates that your current emotional state and the experience that you're currently going through are likely a reflection of your early life experiences, what you've experienced as a child. And I can very well relate to that, okay? And I'll come to that later. Your ability to manage core feelings such as anger. So there are 8 core feelings, 8 basic feelings, but science has it now that you've got over 30 feelings, emotions that you need to manage. But if you are able to manage those 8 basic feelings, the other emotions are just a combination of 2 or 3 more feelings. So your ability to manage those feelings like anger, sadness, fear, or joy often actually depend on the quality of your own childhood and the consistency that your early life has given you in terms of emotional experience. Because if your primary caretaker, your guardian, has valued and understood your emotions as in you as a child, right? So emotional intelligence is something that can be taught, that can be acquired. And it is our responsibility to actually make sure that our children do adapt to social and emotional learning, to help them label their emotions, to understand how they're being valued, right? It starts from being a parent before you even become one, actually. But that's another topic. I've done a presentation on that. Coming back to that, now, if you are experienced that your emotions are valued, you definitely will develop a higher sense of emotional intelligence when you grow up. But if your emotional experience as a child were confusing or threatening or painful, right? It's likely you have tried to distance yourself from your emotions. What do? We shut it off. We try to protect ourselves. We try to, because it's painful, it hurts. We have not learned the other way. But being able to connect to your emotions, having a moment-to-moment connection with your changing emotional experience is the key to understanding how your emotion influence your thoughts and actions. So you need to literally, to achieve that alignment before we talk about, oh, how do I learn EQ? I learn it by reading up certain blogs. I learn it by attending certain forums. No, that's not that easy. It has to come from within. You need to connect with yourself. You need to connect within yourself. You need to allow your emotions to truly unfold themselves, emotions that you have hidden. The thing is that we're often being very dishonest with ourselves because of the judgments and perceptions of others, the fear of what others will think of us, the created and perceived fear, right? But in order to connect with your emotions, ask yourself simple questions. Now, these are the questions that I want you to right now ask yourself. Do you really experience feelings that flow naturally? Like that come as an emotion or that change from moment to moment? So answer yourself, is it a yes or no, just in your head, okay? Number 2, are your emotions accompanied by physical sensations that you can experience? Something, when you feel something right now, do you experience that something is happening in your stomach or in your throat, or does it something do in your chest or wherever? Do you feel any tingling sensation alongside with it? Try to pay attention to that. Number 3, do you experience individual emotions such as intense anger, sadness, fear, or even joy? Because it's not about the negative emotions alone, right? So let's face it, let's not say that emotional intelligence is only to make sure that your negative emotions get out. It's also about understanding when you're overly happy. Why are you overly happy? Because there has to be a balance, there has to be equilibrium between both states of emotions, the negative and the positives, right? So ask yourself, do you find yourself in that state and where your emotions can actually be read from your facial expressions? Do they come across, right? Or can you experience intense feelings that are strong enough to divert your attention or influence that of others? And do you pay attention to your emotions? That's the question you should ask. Honestly to yourself. I don't need the answer. You need to answer yourself. Now, if any one of these experiences, if only one, is unfamiliar to you, it just means you may have turned down or shut down or turned off your emotions. And in order to build EQ and become emotionally healthy, you must reconnect to your core emotions. You need to allow that first to happen. I mean, otherwise, all techniques and all ways and all proven meditations will be of no use to you, right? Let me tell you, let me be very honest with you. I hate to tell that as a coach, but I tell that to my clients. The only thing I can't force into you is your own acceptance towards your own self, to connect with your own emotions, right? You need to be willing to do that. It's not a magic potion. It's not a magic pill that I'll get over the counter, the blue pill, and I'll just, we could drink it with water. That would be really awesome if you could do that. But it takes persistency. It takes facing in confronting what you feel, right? And there are ways to do that. Now, what are those ways? Now, how do I help actually clients? This is my EQ map to success. It's a very holistic approach, because you need to, we talked about, releasing stress first, right? You can't go about managing yourself if you're not mentally healthy. If you are not aware, although these things go parallel, hand in hand. Like, I wouldn't say you start with learning how to be happy first, and then you're being more self-aware. They go hand in hand, right? Because your mental health will affect your physical health. And if you're not right up there, you can't go to becoming your best self. So it's about, starting with your well-being. Your well-being, your mental well-being can be done through learning, becoming more positive in life, being more mindful in life, trying to gain more confidence, trying to be more optimistic, practicing gratitude, practicing forgiveness, which is so important. These are so little things in our life that we often tend to forget, and they can be done on a daily basis. It just takes a bit of discipline and commitment, right? Now, if you achieve that equilibrium in your well-being, because if you have an emotionally stable mind, you automatically will have a stronger physiology as well. That's when you can start focusing on self-awareness, on managing yourself, on there was this question on how habits are formed through, and something was there on the chat. I don't recall it exactly, but I have an answer to that. It's, how do you make sure that negativity doesn't take over you? Because we're faced with so many things every day, and it sounds so beautiful, and it sounds so like I could talk the stars down from the sky for you. But the art of expression is a very powerful tool, and expression can be done through various forms. Now, some people find the power in writing, journaling everything down, writing them in keywords. Now, if you haven't read the book of Robin Sharma, The 5 a.m. Club, I recommend you to do that. Not that you should start waking up at 5 a.m. if that's not what you want to do, but you'll understand that there's one thing that I learned and I adapted into my lifestyle is that every day when I wake up, okay, probably not every day, let's be honest, because every day I don't feel like it, but probably every other day, the first thoughts that come into my mind, I just write them down. I just place them on a piece of paper, whether they're silly or whatever, they don't have a meaning. You don't need to write a thesis, just simple words, right? Some people find channeling their pain or their negativity into creativity. I've done a video on that as well, through arts and music. So the power of expression, because if you don't let your negative emotions out, your body, your mind is a vessel. Positive emotions won't enter. So it is important that we detoxify ourselves on a daily basis. So you could do it through meditation. You could do it through your prayers or whatever you think is right. But one way to start definitely is mindfulness. Now, mindfulness, that's what I recommend. Because mindfulness is the practice of purposely focusing your attention on the present moment and without judgment, without thinking. It's you might say, oh, how do I do that? You do that by starting it, right? You might not be achieving it on the first day, but make it a daily habit. 60 days of a daily habit will be part of your life. So the cultivation of mindfulness has roots in Buddhism. It also has roots in other religions, probably. But I don't want to take religion here into scientific back fundamentals, right? That's something very personal. I leave that up to you. But mindfulness helps shift your preoccupation with thought towards an appreciation of the moment, because we as humans naturally are inclined to see the negativity in everything. We start saying, we don't see the good that we don't try to even see the good in other things, and not just in other people. And we also try to decline the good in us. We often try to just forget that in this present moment, our physical and emotional sensations can be appreciated. So be kind on yourself. Practice kindness on yourself, and every day. It brings a larger perspective of life. Mindfulness gives you a bird view of things, right? It calms and focuses you, making you more self-aware in the process. Now, mindfulness, again, is a technique, and it can be done through various tools. It can be done through meditation, through yoga, through breathing exercises, through guided imagery. I do that with my clients. I help them with visual guidance, right? But it depends really from client to client. It depends on your personal mental health. It's very important to understand that what your emotional state is and what will help you, because mindfulness will have its negative consequences if practiced wrong. A lot of people will give up because the negative emotions will start surfacing, but that's okay. And that's the nerve that you got to maintain at that point. So I'm not going to tell you that the grass is green. All right, let's just see how it really is. And as we know, the smartest people are not necessarily the most successful, because people might be academically brilliant, but yet can be socially inept and unsuccessful at work and their personal life. So intellectual ability, which is your intelligent quotient, your IQ, isn't just enough. What really affects what does the emotional quotient affect in our life is everything from your performance at work or at school or wherever you basically spend most time in, because high emotional intelligence can help you navigate through the social complexities of life, of your workplace, that lead and help you to motivate others. I actually hate the word motivation, and the reason is because I personally believe that motivation is something that is done forcefully. Inspiration comes from within, motivation comes from outside, right? So if you're inspired enough, that will stick with you for life. So inspire others, basically, to excel in your career. In fact, it comes to engaging important candidates, and many companies, in fact, rate EQ more than other abilities in a candidate, and there are proper testings done for that. It also affects your, it also affects your physical health. We've discussed this now. I don't think so I need to get into too much detail of this. And your mental health. You know, uncontrolled emotions and stress can impact your mental health, making you vulnerable to anxiety and depression. And if you're unable to understand, get comfortable with, or probably manage your emotions, you will actually struggle in the long term to manage relationships, right? And this can help make you feel isolated and lonely. And you know, I think people ask me, how are you spending this time of COVID? I don't feel isolated, right? Because you own yourself innerly first. You need to find that equilibrium in your mental state. And of course, it will affect your relationships and
yes.
your social intelligence. Yeah, I'm just finishing it up. It's just my last slide.
Okay.
So at the end, I just want to say that being in tune with your emotions serves as a social purpose, connecting you to other people and the world around you. Social intelligence, emotional intelligence enables you to recognize who is important, your friends, your foes, right? So that's important to understand who you need in life. And in fact, it balances your nervous system through social communication, and you will feel loved and happy. At the end of the day, live life on your terms, which is driven by passion and purpose, and EQ helps you to achieve that. And thank you very much for bearing me and for hearing me out. I'm just going to turn my camera in again so that I can see you all as well. You can see me. In fact, I could see you all. That's it. Thank you. Questions?
Thank you very much, Jessi. It was a wonderful session, and you walked us through the entire process of developing, learning, understanding emotional quotient, especially the emotional intelligence. I think both terms are used interchangeably, and it was a wonderful presentation. So let's see if somebody has any question, because I saw lots of people were asking questions during your presentation, and we were uh, answering them on your behalf. But let's see.
Okay. Well, people can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. There's only, I think, only one Jessi de Terra on the whole LinkedIn. I haven't found anybody else who's named Jessi de Terra. I'm pleased to get connected with people there as well. You can drop me in your comments over there, because I'm unable to scroll up now, and I'm also a bit running behind time. You can email me questions on jessi@jessideterra.com as well.
Excellent.
If there are questions related to EQ directly.
Perfect. So with this, I'm thankful to you, Jessi, and we move to our next honorable guest speaker, Shaima. Shaima, if you are here with us.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Jessi, and thank you, Mr. Mustafa, for this forum. I hope that as we are in quarantine and lockdown right now, everyone is doing well as your beloved one. So today we have been talking about EQ for too long, and as you may see, I have a key in my hand, and this key is made to look and unlock looking. But today I'm going to talk about this key. I'm going to talk about the keys and the qualities that a leader or a manager should have in order to be near to his team. So EQ build healthier relationship at work using emotional intelligence. It's undeniable that employees are able to work better on a team when they have higher emotional intelligence. And we can see that when there is a better office environment, more self-awareness, more self-control, and the time is managed better, and there is more motivation in the office. As we said before, the EQ is the fact that, or the ability to recognize, understand, manage our emotions, and in the same time is also recognize, understand, and influence emotions of others. You all know that we are human, and we are all emotional creator who often make decisions and respond to similar our emotions. In order to be in a better workplace, the first thing the leader should have is empathy. The second one is self-awareness. The third one is curiosity. The fourth one is having an analytical mind. I will just ask you, Mr. Mustafa, please, to go back to curiosity. And as Albert Einstein said, I have special talents. I'm only passionately curious. When you have a curious leader or work with curious person, you you are passionate, and curiosity drives you to want to be your best, and curiosity leads you to higher level of intellectual. In the same time, I will go to the fourth point, which is analytical mind. The most emotionally intelligent and resolute people are deeply thinker, and I will go back to the point that we talked about in the first of this forum, which is being a deep thinker and anxiety. Actually, being a deep thinker that analyze and proceed all the new informations that come there, and also to analyze the old informations, is a habit for an EQ. It helps you to see things the way they are, and also helps you to improve yourself. Having an analytical mind means having a healthy appetite for a continuously improving mindset and always remaining open to new ideas. I will talk about the fifth point, which is the belief. When you believe in yourself, in your team, and when you believe in your ideas, it is maintaining an emotional self-control, is also using the power of faith to believe in yourself both in the present and in the future. So it means you give your team self-confidence and trust. Believing in yourself is the power of faith that comes with actions. The actions will be the hard work, the perseverance, and having a positive attitude. An emotional leader or a person known the difference between the needs, what he needs and what he wants. And this is the sixth topic that I will talk about. The emotionally intelligent mind is able to discern between things that they need versus things that they would be nice to have. Emotionally intelligent person know the difference between these two things and always establish needs prior to the fulfilling wants. If you have a passionate leaders, and this is the seventh point, and as you may know, the passion is the night desire, the desire instinct that drive ambitions and motivate a person to do more. So if you are passionate, you of course motivate your team to do better. And if you are a passionate team member, you will also help team to do better. Passion brings positive energy that help us and inspire us to keep going in our life and our work. And then I will pass to the thing that I always talk about in my conferences, and I will invite you to read which is available right now. So being optimistic helps you to be in control and in the same time to have a positive attitude. And Akor said, when we are happy, our mindset and mood are, we are smarter, more motivated, and this help us to be more successful and happy in our life. If you want to increase your team, you have to be an optimist and you have to maintain a positive attitude. Sometimes when you have adaptability, adaptability is the fact that you have to stay open-minded. You have to be and to have the power of resistance and assimilation. Adaptability is the emotionally intelligent people is recognized when to continue then their course and when it's time for a change. If a manager or a leader who is open, who can adapt his strategy to be more creative and who can also change the strategy with when it's not working, trust me, the work will be a better place. Then, and this is something that I always say, a leader or an emotional person desire to help others to succeed. Their inspired leadership and passion combined with their optimism drive them to want to do best for themselves and for others. Having a spirit of desire and hope for waiting to see the people around us succeed is one of the points that are important in the emotional intelligence. This is from my side was the keys and the quality an emotional person or a leader should have. And as I said before, it's a fact that all the employees will improve themselves if the work environment is better place, and in the same we do have a leader who can help them, manage them to be a better person. As we are in a lockdown right now, and as we have enough time, we can work on ourselves to be a better leader. And I will end my part by saying this, and it's something that I really like. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a real leader.
Thank you very much, Shaima, for this wonderful presentation and for sharing very nice points to become an effective leader, an effective manager by practicing emotional intelligence at workplace. Because mostly the people which have joined us so far, they are from workplace, they are from corporate sector, and we have to exhibit our emotional intelligence at our work. It is highly important, and it's in high demand, and your conversation was very much relevant to that. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation, especially in this young age. She is the most youngest person, I would say, among all of us, after me.
My pleasure, Mr. Mustafa. Thank you.
So our next presenter is our next honorable guest speaker is Mr. Rida. I understand there are some people who will not be able to understand French, but I request you to stay with us till the end so that we can have a concluding session at the end, especially the attendees, so that you can also benefit from our conclusion. So Mr. Rida will connect in emotional intelligence with psychotherapy or the physiotherapy. I don't know.
Psychotherapy.
So he psychotherapy, sorry. So I was just confused, like physiotherapy is something different. So I'm just using this word just to engage people, because there might be some people who are maybe sleeping like this. So over to you, Mr. Rida. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jessi, Eram, Shaima, and Ikhlass, and Mr. Mustafa. Alors, je vais commencer mon intervention dans ce sens où je vais essayer de parler. Je vais essayer de parler d'abord de la question de l'émotion comme étymologie du terme. C'est-à-dire, depuis son histoire, l'émotion a été une notion qui a été longuement explorée par les chercheurs, notamment les travaux fondateurs de Charles Darwin, qui avait spécifié un certain nombre d'émotions qui seraient présentes chez les êtres humains ainsi que chez un certain nombre d'espèces animales. Ensuite, l'émotion a été sujet de recherche pour énormément de disciplines au début du siècle, notamment par les sciences humaines relatives à l'évolution du behaviorisme, du cognitivisme et aussi sujette à l'exploration et à la mesure de la cybernétique. Alors, les émotions, moi j'ai choisi de parler sur l'axe de la psychothérapie et l'intelligence émotionnelle, dans le sens où l'intelligence émotionnelle va se faire remarquer sur un certain nombre de pathologies mentales, c'est-à-dire, par exemple, on va observer l'intelligence émotionnelle qui serait perturbée, défaillante dans les dépressions qu'on va dire graves. On va retrouver que la question de l'émotion ou de l'intelligence émotionnelle a une certaine disharmonie dans la structure de personnalité antisociale ou chez le psychopathe, par exemple. Donc, à partir de là, l'émotion va être un marqueur assez important de l'équilibre mental d'un individu. Tout à l'heure, en réfléchissant, je m'étais rappelé aussi d'un livre que j'avais depuis un certain temps, qui est le nom dit des émotions. Je ne sais pas si vous l'avez. Donc, c'est Claude Oliverstein, qui est le médecin-chef de l'hôpital de Marmottan à Lyon, en France, et qui avait parlé des émotions, alors justement avec une approche psychanalytique et une approche sociologique, dans le sens où les émotions ont quelque chose à dire. Il y a un message à transmettre dans les émotions, et c'est pour cette raison qu'il va y avoir un non-dit des émotions, c'est-à-dire que les émotions sont là pour traduire un message. Donc, dans ce sens-là, l'émotion en tant qu'objet de recherche n'a pas été proprement explorée par la psychanalyse, n'a pas été proprement explorée par le behaviorisme et le comportementalisme, mais dans la prise en charge thérapeutique, en ce qui concerne la psychothérapeutique. Alors, tandis qu'en psychanalyse, cette notion de l'émotion, elle est attachée à la notion de l'affect, elle est attachée à la notion du symptôme, elle est attachée à une notion de l'inhibition. D'ailleurs, il y a le livre de Sigmund Freud en 1926 où il parle, qui s'intitule Inhibition, symptômes et angoisse. Et c'est là où on va retrouver ce concept de l'émotion assez présent dans une grande partie de l'œuvre freudienne, mais qui n'a jamais été exploré à part entière. Donc, toujours associé à l'affect, associé à l'angoisse, à l'anxiété, associé à une certaine symptomatologie, mais qui n'a pas eu suffisamment d'intérêt dans l'œuvre freudienne elle-même. Les néo-freudiens, par exemple chez Donald Winnicott, on va retrouver un intérêt particulier de Winnicott pour l'interprétation du langage infantile, comme il le dit, comme l'émotion ou le registre émotionnel serait le langage ou le registre de langage des enfants. À partir du moment où l'enfant n'a pas encore accès au système langagier, au signifiant, à la représentation mentale, donc le langage émotionnel est le langage par excellence qui va lier le nourrisson à son environnement. Donc l'émotion et l'intelligence émotionnelle, dans ce point de vue, seraient associées à l'environnement d'un sujet. D'accord? Donc, dans ce sens-là, on va retrouver, par exemple, cliniquement, il va mettre cette émotion-là du côté, par exemple, pathologique de l'enfance quand on parle du retrait apathique de l'enfant. C'est-à-dire cet enfant qui, aux prises avec une mère indisponible émotionnellement, une mère dépressive, par exemple, aurait une certaine disharmonie émotionnelle. Quelques études ont été menées dans ce sens, où l'on a pu observer qu'un enfant qui est éduqué par une mère dépressive, ou bien qu'il y a énormément de changements de mère nourricière, on va observer des conduites de troubles de déficit avec ou sans hyperactivité. On va retrouver des arriérations mentales, on va retrouver un retard langagier, on va retrouver un certain nombre de symptômes liés à la disharmonie émotionnelle. Donc, dans ce sens-là, l'émotion ou l'intelligence émotionnelle a été effleurée dans ces recherches-là liées à la pathologie de l'enfant. Ensuite, on va observer cela dans la pratique que j'ai pu avoir. Donc, quand on travaille avec des sujets aux prises avec la dépression, on va observer que les sujets qui souffrent d'une dépression ont une certaine difficulté d'interprétation. C'est-à-dire, c'est des sujets qui interprètent d'abord mal leurs propres émotions et ensuite, c'est des sujets qui vont interpréter mal les émotions des autres. C'est-à-dire une personne, un sourire, par exemple, pourrait être interprété comme une espèce d'apathie chez l'interlocuteur. Donc, la question de l'intelligence émotionnelle, d'abord, comme ça a été cité par Jessi et par Shema, c'est quelque chose d'interne, mais qui ne va s'exprimer qu'en présence d'un environnement. D'accord? Donc, dans ce sens-là, l'intelligence émotionnelle serait la capacité de cette grammaire affective. Ce serait un certain nombre de codes à interpréter, d'accord, à codifier chez l'autre et chez soi. C'est un langage que l'enfant connaît parfaitement. Vos enfants, donc j'ai entendu des enfants parler à côté de Jessi. Donc vos enfants n'ont pas besoin en bas âge de votre discours pour comprendre ce que vous ressentez. Un enfant, il voit sa maman et il est capable de comprendre si sa maman elle est heureuse, si elle est triste, si elle est fâchée, si elle est… Donc, l'enfant comprend parfaitement bien ce langage émotionnel à partir du moment où il va gagner en termes de signifiant, en termes de langage, d'accès au registre langagier. Petit à petit, il va mettre en suspens cette capacité aiguisée, ses compétences émotionnelles. Donc, dans ce sens, dans la pratique psychothérapeutique, moi, je suis d'une école d'inspiration psychanalytique, mais je pratique avec une approche intégrative, dans le sens où j'ai recours le plus souvent à des techniques différentes selon l'environnement et la situation du sujet. Et donc, dans ce sens, j'ai essayé de parcourir un peu comment les différentes psychothérapies abordent la question de l'intelligence émotionnelle. Alors, pour la psychanalyse, les émotions correspondraient à l'affect. L'affect serait la charge émotive, la charge affective qui va accompagner une représentation mentale. C'est-à-dire, quand on dit que l'adulte ou les émotions de l'adulte sont le résultat du vécu infantile de cet adulte. L'adulte est le résultat de l'enfance et des interactions de l'enfance qu'on a été. Dans ce sens, la psychanalyse postule l'existence d'une inhibition émotionnelle, ou quand on parle d'un trouble mental ou d'un trouble psychique chez l'adulte, on parle en psychanalyse d'un refoulement d'une situation traumatisante dans laquelle une certaine charge affective est en train de s'expérimenter en s'attachant à différents représentants dans la formation de symptômes. D'accord? Donc, l'émotion est au sein même du trouble psychique. L'intelligence émotionnelle, dans ce sens, serait, selon la psychanalyse, présentifier l'élément traumatisant et essayer d'associer l'énergie affective, les émotions, avec l'élément refoulé, avec le traumatisme qui subit cette fois-là une forme d'amnésie, c'est-à-dire il y a une perte de mémoire consciemment, on est incapable de se remémorer pourquoi nous avions été traumatisés, pourquoi nous avions été aux prises avec cet effondrement psychique au point de le refouler. Dans ce sens-là, dans notre pratique, alors quand les TCC par exemple, les thérapies cognitivo-comportementales, en termes de thérapie liée aux troubles psychiques, par exemple la phobie, pour rester sur quelque chose de très, très utilisé dans l'exemple TCC. Donc, le postulat, quand on disait pour la psychanalyse, était de se remémorer. Donc, il y a un travail de remémoration, il y a un travail de verbalisation, d'accord? Il y a un travail de mise en mots, de dresser des signifiants de ces mots-là. Les TCC, quant à eux, il y a un postulat, bien entendu, qui émane de la théorie, c'est que nos comportements dépendent de nos pensées. Et nos pensées sont en lien avec nos affects, avec l'émotionnel. Et dans ce sens-là, pour modifier un comportement, il est important de modifier les pensées et de modifier les affects. Dans ce sens-là, les deux angles de prisme thérapeutique ne sont pas contradictoires à partir du moment où ils vont mettre l'accent et l'effort sur cette charge émotive qui serait à l'origine d'un comportement perturbateur, d'un comportement qu'on juge inefficace dans ce sens. Donc, quand on travaille avec l'adulte, par moment, on est devant des situations dans lesquelles nous sommes devant, par exemple, quelqu'un qui vient d'intégrer une entreprise, d'accord? Quelqu'un qui est un débutant, un junior qui vient d'accéder à une multinationale. Et le propre de quelqu'un d'apprenti dans un nouveau poste est de poser des questions. C'est-à-dire, où est-ce que je pourrais trouver le département marketing, où est-ce que je pourrais trouver le département conformité, où est-ce que je pourrais trouver ceci ou cela. Chercher l'information. Il n'y a pas 36 000 moyens pour chercher l'information, il faut poser des questions. D'accord? Alors, le sujet qui se présente à notre consultation, il affirme qu'il est dans une situation de blocage, d'anxiété, qui commence à développer une certaine phobie en allant à ce travail qu'il a à peine commencé il y a 2 semaines. Et il affirme qu'il n'arrive pas à se retrouver dans ce nouveau travail. Quand on pose des questions et on essaie de mettre horizontalement tous les éléments de son intégration, on découvre qu'il y a c'est ce qu'on appelle en psychanalyse des imagos parentaux. D'accord? Et en explorant son vécu infantile et en explorant son modèle d'éducation, on arrive à retrouver quelques croyances et quelques valeurs qui ont été véhiculées lors de l'enfance, et même quand le sujet s'est démarqué par rapport à l'environnement familial, il a marqué une rupture avec l'environnement familial, mais il porte en lui, dans son instance surmoïque, des imagos parentaux, des dictants, des phrases, des souvenirs écrans qui vont justement être à l'origine d'un évitement. Donc, on découvre que chez cet individu-là, la croyance intégrée depuis son enfance, que quand on pose des questions, c'est qu'on ne sait pas. Quand on pose des questions, on va créer des problèmes. D'accord? Donc, cette dichotomie-là, cette association de poser des questions, créer des problèmes, poser des questions, c'est interdit. Ça veut dire qu'on ne sait pas, qu'on ne connaît pas, va faire que le sujet va développer une inhibition quant à ses situations professionnelles. Un autre exemple, ou pas plus tard que cette semaine, j'ai rencontré une patiente qui, quand on travaille avec elle depuis un certain nombre de temps, on découvre que elle a une situation et une difficulté. C'est une excellente ingénieure qui travaille avec un parcours d'excellence, avec une réussite magnifique, mais on découvre justement qu'elle a certaines difficultés à se mettre en relation avec un homme. D'accord? Donc, généralement, tous les essais qu'elle avait abordés dans la situation de couple, ce sont des essais qui se sont soldés par des échecs, et le plus souvent, ce sont des ruptures qu'elle-même a provoquées, d'accord? Sans qu'il y ait forcément des raisons objectives à cela. Et on découvre au fur et à mesure que justement, malgré que cette personne se veut moderne, malgré que cette personne a fait des études universitaires, s'est imposée dans son travail, c'est quelqu'un d'incontournable dans sa structure, c'est quelqu'un qui s'est rapidement rendu indispensable pour l'organisation et est devenu quelqu'un de confiance et quelqu'un sur qui le top management compte sur lui. Mais malgré tous ces éléments-là, on découvre en faisant son analyse qu'il y a une croyance particulière qui a été ingurgitée depuis l'enfance, que
les hommes sont mauvais. Et cette croyance-là, que les hommes sont mauvais, va faire qu'elle, même si consciemment, elle essaye de manière rationnelle, d'accord, de manière objective, elle pense que oui, elle accepte des rencarts, elle accepte des déjeuners, elle accepte de voir des hommes, mais elle n'arrive jamais à conclure, elle n'arrive jamais à passer à autre chose avec eux, dans le sens où, même si rationnellement, elle veut se mettre en lien avec des hommes qui lui plaisent, mais émotionnellement, il y a un blocage terrible. Et quand on analyse, on trouve qu'en profondeur, il y a cette croyance-là qui est encore en train d'opérer dans son inconscient et qui dit que, attention, il ne faut pas être avec des hommes, d'accord? Ce sont des êtres dangereux. Donc, ce blocage émotionnel, d'accord, va prendre le pas, encore une fois, et nous témoigne encore une fois que l'émotionnel a la primauté sur le rationnel. D'accord? Donc, c'est quelque chose d'extrêmement avéré aujourd'hui, qu'on peut observer de manière flagrante. C'est qu'aujourd'hui, l'écrasante majorité de nos comportements émanent pour ainsi le dire de manière métaphorique, de notre cerveau affectif et émotionnel. Autrement dit, c'est notre intelligence émotionnelle qui va faire qu'on va s'investir dans des relations avec autrui ou qu'on va être dans une inhibition, dans un blocage avec autrui. Donc, dans ce sens-là, il est important d'accorder probablement un travail davantage axé sur ces émotions, mais cette fois-ci comme un levier thérapeutique. C'est-à-dire le travail sur les émotions, ce n'est pas quelque chose qu'on devrait uniquement aborder dans le sens de la performance au travail. Sous le dicton, d'ailleurs, il y avait Eram Saeed tout à l'heure qui avait mentionné cette question de manager les émotions, de gérer les émotions. Alors, justement, c'est une injonction qu'on va demander aux gens de l'entreprise. On va leur demander, oui, you have to manage your emotion. Mais le sous-entendu de il faut gérer ses émotions, c'est qu'autrement dit, il faudrait bloquer vos émotions. Quand est-ce qu'on va dire cela? Quand est-ce qu'on va demander à quelqu'un de gérer ses émotions? Principalement quand il s'agit de ces personnes hyper émotives, ces personnes hypersensibles, ces personnes qu'on va trouver en train de pleurer dans un couloir ou en train de gronder quelqu'un. Ce sont des émotions. La première des choses à faire avec une émotion, c'est d'abord l'accepter. Accepter son émotion est la première étape. À partir du moment où on éduque un enfant, par exemple, et combien de fois j'en ai reçu des hommes en consultation qui ne s'autorisent pas d'avoir des sentiments ou d'avoir des émotions. D'accord? Donc, combien de fois vous-même, vous avez entendu le terme combien de fois nous avons observé des parents ou nous-mêmes avons été concernés par cette question-là, où on nous dit un garçon, il ne pleure pas. Un homme ne pleure pas. Vous n'avez pas le droit de pleurer. Qu'est-ce qu'on dit? C'est exactement la même chose qu'on est en train de dire à cet ingénieur-là qui est en train de nous dire aujourd'hui, je ne peux pas travailler dans ces conditions-là, on m'a licencié la moitié de mon équipe, je ne peux pas rester les mains croisées devant cela. Et il s'effondre. Et qu'est-ce qu'on lui dit? Non, monsieur, il faut gérer ses émotions. Non, je crois que là, on fait un faux départ. La première des choses, c'est d'accepter ses émotions. Qu'est-ce qu'elles signifient pour nous? Qu'est-ce qui a fait que cette personne s'est effondrée de cette manière-là en pleurant? Qu'est-ce qui a fait que cette personne-là s'est retirée émotionnellement, qu'elle ne participe plus à rien dans cette équipe, à l'entreprise? Qu'est-ce qui fait qu'aujourd'hui, nous avons ces émotions-là? Donc, à partir du moment où un petit garçon a été prié de gérer ses émotions, autrement dit de les inhiber, de les bloquer, de les nier, de les refouler, il y a toujours un après-coup, il y a toujours un retour du refoulé. Mais cette fois-ci, ce n'est pas par l'émotion originelle qu'on a connue, les pleurs en l'occurrence. Mais cette fois-ci, l'émotion va s'exprimer le plus souvent dans un symptôme, que ce soit un symptôme intestinal, épidermique, que ce soit un symptôme fonctionnel le plus souvent, que ce soit une somatisation ou que ce soit malheureusement aussi des passages à l'acte. Des passages à l'acte aussi bien autodestructeurs que hétérodestructeurs. Donc, dans ce sens, l'intelligence émotionnelle nécessite encore, à mon avis, qu'elle soit sujette de recherche, mais cette fois-ci avec l'angle d'un levier thérapeutique. L'émotion, non pas dans son aspect philosophal, et là, on va trouver, d'ailleurs, dans la philosophie de la sensation, on va trouver William Burroughs, où on va trouver Julius Caesar, où on va trouver Nietzsche, Frédéric Nietzsche, notamment, énormément de philosophies qui ont traité du sujet de l'émotionnel. Dans ce qui nous concerne, c'est-à-dire dans la praxis, dans le fonctionnel, il est important d'aborder et aussi, je le conseille pour les psychothérapeutes aussi, de s'intéresser à la question de l'interprétation émotionnelle, mais encore une fois, à ne pas se laisser aller à la facilité de l'interprétation des émotions. L'émotion n'est pas quelque chose qu'on va pouvoir déterminer à un moment donné, à un endroit donné. D'accord? C'est quelque chose qui ne peut être interprété que dans la durée, qu'elle ne peut être interprétée que dans la fréquence, qu'elle ne peut être interprétée que dans l'intensité de cette émotion-là. D'accord? C'est à partir de là qu'on va dire que voilà, il y a des dominances, il y a des tendances qu'on va pouvoir subdiviser dans les quatre émotions, les quatre tendances que Thierry Tournebise et Gordon, quand on parle de Gordon, c'est-à-dire l'agressivité, la manipulation, la passivité et l'assertivité. Donc, cette question de l'intelligence émotionnelle suppose non pas que l'on abandonne notre agressivité nécessaire à notre survie, notre passivité nécessaire, encore une fois, à notre survie sociale et naturelle, que l'on n'abandonne pas notre capacité stratégique qu'on va appeler communément la manipulation, parce qu'elle est nécessaire justement pour pouvoir se projeter dans un avenir et dans un espace-temps donné, mais encore une fois, qu'il y ait une certaine harmonie entre ces tendances. Donc, c'est, pour reprendre les termes de Tournebise, c'est l'harmonisation entre l'agressivité, la passivité, la manipulation et l'assertivité qui nous garantirait une certaine intelligence émotionnelle. Merci pour votre écoute et je cède la parole à Monsieur Mustafa Ghulam.
Monsieur Reda, vous avez une question, excusez-moi d'avoir intervenu, une question de... Voilà. Alors, la question est... question pour Monsieur Reda, traitez-vous les cas de la perversion narcissique ou les cas plus communément connus sous le nom de PNM, pardon.
Oui, psychose maniaco-dépressive, c'est ça.
Oui.
Très bien. Oui, alors oui, en effet, la psychothérapie est nécessaire pour la structure ou pour la pathologie de la psychose maniaco-dépressive. C'est une ancienne appellation. Aujourd'hui, on parle de troubles bipolaires. Mais en effet, la prise en charge globale de la bipolarité suscite d'abord un traitement médical, psychiatrique, d'accord? Suscite une psychothérapie dans laquelle, alors si la première, l'axe médical, psychiatrique, il va éliminer les symptômes bruyants, les délires, l'irritation, d'accord, les éléments qui vont faire perdre le lien avec la réalité pour le sujet. Mais à côté de cela, il est important de commencer une psychothérapie avec un psychologue pour pouvoir structurer les choses et pouvoir essayer d'intégrer le sujet dans sa réalité, de le ramener à la réalité, de travailler sur les pensées qui accompagnent ces actes-là et d'essayer de gérer ses propres émotions. Mais à côté de cela, excusez-moi, Sheima, à côté de cela, oui, il est important qu'il y ait aussi un projet personnel. Le traitement à lui seul est insuffisant. La psychothérapie à elle seule, elle est insuffisante. Il faut les trois, c'est un tripier. Une médicothérapie, une psychothérapie et un projet personnel. Voilà. le trépied thérapeutique d'une PME.
D'accord, merci beaucoup, docteur. C'est un plaisir. J'espère qu'on a pu répondre à la question de Jean. Et puis après, s'il y a d'autres questions, ils peuvent revenir vers vous, vers voilà, Facebook ou LinkedIn.
Merci.
Mr. Mustafa?
Yes, I was just waiting for the time when you give control back to me. Thank you very much, Rida, for your wonderful presentation. Some of the words I could understand. I'm sorry for not understanding the French, but I believe your presentation was excellent. As I could understand some of the words, those were amazing. And with the help of Shaima and Ikhlass, maybe we can try to translate your presentation in English so that more people can take benefit, other than Moroccan, can also take benefit of this presentation. So with this, we are now at the closing of our wonderful forum today. And if I request all the team members of forum to turn on their cameras so that we can say thanks to each other. And I request Eram to please conclude the overall forum today so that then I know it's like more than an hour now. It's more than like we started. It's almost 2 hours now. So, the forum was only for like 1 hour 30 minutes, but we have increased the time. But I think that shows we had wonderful discussion and everybody liked it. And one of the thing which we learned being part of emotional intelligence is also time management. So we should not use more time of attendees. Over to you, Eram.
Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you. And yes, thank you to all the amazing panelists. Thank you so much. I learned so much. And Rida, even though I couldn't really understand you too much, it was still wonderful listening to you because French just sounds so beautiful. So that was nice to listen to you anyway. And I gathered from some of the terms you used, I was intending to talk about it, but I think you did already talk about this, about how the emotional injury actually takes place in our childhood and how we then form associations and right. So you did cover that.
Exactly.
Awesome. So I wanted to talk about that. I'm glad that you already did. It's very, very important to understand that because, 97% of our life and our behavior is controlled literally by a 7-year-old. So understanding that 7-year-old is very important. And until we do, we really cannot progress further on this journey of emotional intelligence and therefore not really be able to lead a fulfilled and happy life. So that was one of the most important things. And I'm glad that Rida, you covered it. And I believe you covered it beautifully and with passion, which was wonderful. And again, I would like to remind you all that, emotions, we tend to label emotions as good or bad. And I think Rida might have touched on this as well. But it is so important to recognize that emotions are basically sources of information. This is information coming to you from your subconscious mind. It could be stored in the mind, it could be stored in the body, it could be stored anywhere. But treat it as gold because this is the pathway to your own self. And it's information. So we tend to say, anger is bad, sadness is bad, I don't want to feel that. And that's actually that primitive brain working, that little child that's saying, I don't want to feel bad, so I want to avoid that. And I want to feel good, so I want to seek the pleasurable things. And that kind of creates that dichotomy. So the first thing to understand is that emotion is basically a source of information. It's information that is very valuable. We must honor each emotion. That's why when I said you can't control emotion, because we really can't. Controlling it means I'm going to suppress it. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to feel angry. So let me just push it aside. I'm going to suppress it. And it's like a pressure cooker. If you suppress it, one day it's going to burst. We can manage emotion. And one of the most important steps, and the panelists talked about this beautifully today. There's so many skills and tools that they gave you guys. one of the important things is to remember to welcome all emotions, honor them. Do it in a place where, you know, you're not in a challenging situation. Make it a habit to deal with your emotions. Write them down, or, you know, have a meditative process where you're connecting with them and you're releasing them. Trapped emotions can be released quite easily. There are many methods. Somebody, Jessi was sharing information on NLP, which is one of the techniques. And like you, Jessi, I'm not a huge fan of NLP myself. There are other more gentle and safer techniques, such as meditation. There's so many studies done on meditation. And you can use that to really release trapped emotion. There is EFT, which is tapping, one of the most fantastic and easy tools to use to release trapped emotion. If you want to get information on that, Mustafa, it's EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. There are lots of free videos on YouTube. You know, you can use that. It's just by tapping on certain points and it on energy meridians, and it releases trapped emotion. So there's lots of ways you guys can do that. I just want to address one thing quickly, Mustafa, before we go, and that was about how to deal with fear in this environment of COVID-19. So as I mentioned earlier, that majority of us spend our time in our heads, right? We are not really connected to our body. And how can you tell? I believe it was the class that talked about it. Like, just do a quick test. Can you sit with yourself? When you put your attention internally into your body, starting with like the top of your head, going down to the nape of your neck, down to your spine, just letting your focus go internally, letting it just sweep your body, taking breaths while you're doing it. How do you feel? It's going to be a big clue. I guarantee you some of you are going to feel very contracted, like you can't go there. Like, you know, there's going to be uneasiness around it, which is a big clue that you are not connecting internally enough times. So use the techniques we've talked about. Any of the techniques would work. Connect internally. What happens in life is, and I believe, Rida, I think you covered this too, but I just want to go over it again, is that we create distractions in our life so that we don't feel the bad feelings. The distractions can be work, they can be, you know, alcohol, drugs, they can be anything that we basically, it becomes a habit that we cannot control, and it is impacting our life in a negative way, but we still can't control it. Those are addictions. So we create all these distractions around us that could be considered good things, like working is considered good. You know, spending time with friends is good. But a lot of times these are just distractions so that we don't pay attention to ourselves. Now, what has COVID-19 done? One of the biggest blessings I believe that this pandemic has brought is that it has taken away all the distractions, most of them. We are now, being social animals, we are restricted, we are by ourselves. And that's why a lot of people are getting depressed, they're getting suicidal. There's a lot of domestic violence, unfortunately, that has gone up. It's basically people that have not dealt with their own selves. They've been distracting, and now it's time to deal with yourself. And one of the key things I would like to share with you today is, if you are feeling fearful during this whole pandemic, it is a really big clue that somewhere, somehow, you attached your sense of security outside yourself, okay? Whether it was to authority, government, scientists, whatever that is. You need to bring your sense of security back to yourself, back to God, if you believe in God. That is the most important thing. So manage, connect with your own emotions, create the sense of security within yourself, and you will be fine during this pandemic. I've been having a blast, honestly. I've been loving it. It's been downtime for me. So hopefully that helped you guys. Again, thank you to all the panelists for sharing your amazing wisdom. I learned a lot today. And thank you for all the listeners. People stayed throughout this thing. I'm really impressed. You guys are so committed. So thank you so much for doing your part in bringing awareness on this planet.
Thank you, Eram.
And thank you. HR Legends is doing an amazing job. You are just endlessly, tirelessly working towards this goal. I am so appreciative of you, first of all. So thank you so much, Mustafa.
Thank you, Eram. Thank you very much. So, Jessi, Would you like to say any concluding remarks, anything?
I think Eram mentioned everything. I could just only add and appreciate you again and HR Legends for organizing this wonderful forum, because I just believe that with the so much of wealth of information out there on the internet, but I think it's time, and forums like these actually permit us to talk about these things more openly and more meaningfully, and address, as we say, we need to address our emotions, we need to address our challenges and our fears and look them in the eyes. And I think this forum has provided this kind of opportunity to talk about it openly. So thank you very much. And as said, learning is always mutual. So I learned also a lot of things. So thank you for that perspective. I love the way Eram talks specifically. She kind of has that amazing, and I just need to appreciate that on screen right now. And Rita, as said, French sounds beautiful, and I just could understand a bit of it, but yeah, probably you touched on very important things. So well done on that, and thank you for sharing that information as well, and the panelists as well. So thank you for organizing this, Mustafa. It's a great job, and I just hope that this doesn't stop here.
Inshallah. Actually, Jessi and Iram, this is just beginning, because I have never seen any emotional intelligence forums. Yes, people do talk about it. There are single person sessions, but there are no forums. So maybe in coming days we need to have more people on our panel. We need to have more people from other regions as well, so that we can have collective efforts to bring more awareness about emotional intelligence, because people are not able to cope up with their emotions. Yes, they have emotions and they express it abruptly, and they don't challenge their emotions, they don't control their emotions, they don't manage their emotions, and they are facing issues in their life, in their office, in their relationships, in everything. So all we can do is just to help them by leveraging knowledge through our forum. So this is my aim, actually.
Absolutely. And in fact, I think, Mustafa, we discussed that as well. And it's at the point that, because since we're like talking about it, and we've talked about it, and there was something on the question as well. I have lived in Pakistan for some time, and I work in the education sector. I've contributed on a lot of welfare projects over there. And in Pakistan, it's kind of like really dear to me in my heart. And I'm currently working with some education consultant. He's been my mentor, in fact, and I worked there on various fields. So mainly on the quality assurance framework. And we are currently, because the thing is that why do we talk about it now when we are growing up? Why don't we just talk about it and help our children, future generations, to develop that skill, so that we don't need to focus on those problems when we grow up, because problems arise when they're not addressed. So it has to start from the grassroots level. So all it's really premature for me to announce that as of now, but we are inaugurating the first social emotional learning board in Pakistan. It's private because education over there is privatized, but somebody has to take that initiative. So there are certain key stakeholders on that, and I would love that. Probably, I don't know how HR Legions would be able to collaborate on that part, but I think we all have to play our individual responsibility, making sure that our future generations also benefit from making sure that they're emotionally, mentally strong. And I think that starts with emotionally sound parents. So
True.
Learn through observation. So if we are emotionally well equipped before even having, it's part of parenting, it's part of bringing a child into this world. So I think we owe this to our future generations to help them become more socially aware, emotionally aware about themselves. So that's a project that I'm personally working on as a passion. It's a passion project. So there's currently no monetary benefits to it. But yeah, I wish that more people would join it in the course of time.
Can I quickly say that is a passion project for me as well? I'm so excited that you're so passionate about it, because both of my girls are enrolled in long-term emotional intelligence type of programs. I believe, you know, as parents, we spend so much money sending them to good schools, colleges, universities, so they can get a fancy degree, which we now know is not going to contribute towards their happiness and success in life. So I actually made the decision to enroll them in programs that are going to teach them life skills and how to be happy and how to be a balanced and empathetic adult. So, and that's exactly what I feel. Start at a young age so they don't have to be like us, where we have to unlearn all the bad behavior so we can learn the good behavior. Teach them the right behavior from the beginning, and we will have much better, balanced, healthy citizens of the world. So I am with you. Let's connect.
Absolutely. Great to hear that. I think we all should think that way.
Jessi, HR Legends is your platform. We are available for all kind of collaborations for the positivity, for humanity. That's the aim of HR Legends, actually.
Especially for children. Yeah, very important.
Especially for the next generation.
100%.
Thank you. And Shaima, would you like to say something at the conclusion part at the end?
Well, actually, Mustafa, thank you so much for this opportunity. I met a lot of wonderful people tonight. Eram, thank you so much for all the informations. You are a wonderful person, and you talked about meditation, and this is something that I'm working in with my community in Instagram, and in the same time, I'm very happy to had to express myself. As Jessi said before, we would like to have a more open-minded generation, more open-minded world, and we are working on this, we the new generation, and also for the future one. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you, Mr. Reda. It was a pleasure meeting you and talking to you. I'm very glad to be a Moroccan girl tonight from the new generation assistant to this forum, and I would like to thank from the bottom of my heart Mrs. Ikhlass, and she's my coach and my teacher. Thank you so much for this opportunity and for all the work that you're doing for all the people in Morocco and around the world.
Thank you very much. With this, now we move to Ikhlass.
Well, everything has been said. What should I do now?
I think we can say thanks to Rida.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really thankful to you, Mustafa, because of the effort you make, all the innovative idea you have, and the fact that you make it become true. We were just talking the first time about that. You remember? We were just talking like that about emotional intelligence, and now this is the second time we're talking about it. Know you, and special thanks to Redis is making so much pressure on him. Reda, merci beaucoup, hein. Merci d'avoir accepté ce challenge. Merci d'avoir your trust. And merci beaucoup, Shaima. Merci, ça me touche tout ce que tu pour ça. Merci à tous les participants. Thank you all for the participants, because you were through your energy and through your presence and through your commitment, we were able to talk and to give some tools and tips. So thank you all.
Thanks to all the panelists, and I want to say thanks to Salama as well, because she is the one who motivated us for this forum. Ikhlass, if you remember, with reference to our last discussion, that's why I promoted Salama from attendee to panelist. So if she would like to say something, and then we can close this today's forum.
I would just like to thank you again for bringing all the different energies and covering the different aspects, as we didn't have much time to talk about emotional intelligence as we did today. So I would like to thank you again.
Thank you, Salama. You are the driving force behind, you know it. So with this, I am thankful to everyone, Rida, Jessi, Shaima, Ikhlass, Eram, different. We have different timings, different schedules, different routines, and also to all the attendees. But still, you all managed to come online, share your knowledge, expertise, and it's all volunteer activities, complimentary. So that's the most amazing. So I would like to clap for all of you. So thank you very much. So let's conclude with this, and thank you very much. Take care, and may Allah bless you all. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.